What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Master Duel Dark Magician deck profile. So I'm really excited to show you guys because this deck plays one of the most nostalgic monsters in the entire game, the Dark Magician. And I have some extremely spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name skipped in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense. I feel like 2 is totally fine for this build, especially with the amount of draw power I'm playing in this deck, but this card is a definite 2 of in this deck. I'm then playing a single copy of Dark Magician Girl. Dark Magician Girl is a really good one in the deck, but you only really need a single copy of this card because she is a key combo piece. I then play 3 copies of Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is a really good normal summon in the deck that has the ability that when this card is normal summon, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Dark Magician in its text, which is an awesome effect to be able to use to be able to search out a bunch of different cards in this deck. But this card also has a really good graveyard effect that during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap card or effect while this card's in the graveyard except during the damage step, you can contribute a spellcaster type monster and add this card back to your hand, which is an awesome effect to be able to just get this card back into the hand and then have a follow-up play during your next turn to normal summon this card out to the field to give you an additional search. I then play 3 copies of Magician Souls. Magician Souls is one of the best Dark Magician cards ever printed, with a crazy powerful effect that you can send up to 2 spell or trap cards from your hand or field to the graveyard and then draw that many cards, which is absolutely crazy. It also special summons itself to your side of the field because if this card is in your hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard to activate one of these effects. Either special summon this card to your side of the field or send it to the graveyard to special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard, which is just super powerful. I then play 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz. I play 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz because we are playing a branded package in this deck, and this card is just a fantastic 2 of to be able to summon to your side of the field or use with branded fusion. I then play a single copy of the Light Hex Seal Fusion. The Light Hex Seal Fusion is a really good one of to help us go in for a bunch of different fusion plays in the deck without having to banish our copy of Dark Magician for cards like Albion to step into some really powerful fusion monsters, which is why I'm playing this card as a 1 of in the deck. I'm then playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is a fantastic 3 of just to stop the opponent from touching the deck, which is why I play this card as a 3 of in the build. I'm then playing 2 copies of Max C. Max C is a really good 2 of in the deck because I'm playing a bunch of draw power. I'm just playing 2 copies of this card, but it's a really good card just to be able to stop your opponent's turn while also letting you get to draw at least 1 card, because every time your opponent special summons, after you send this card to the graveyard, you get to draw a card that turn, which is an awesome effect. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, I'm going to be playing a single copy of Secrets of Dark Magic. Secrets of Dark Magic is a really good one in the deck. It's pretty much a fusion spell for Dark Magician, which is why I'm playing this card as a 1 of. I'm then playing a single copy of Terraforming. We do play quite a few field spells in the deck, which is why I'm playing Terraforming at 1 in this particular build. I'm playing a single copy of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This card is a really good lockdown card, because if only you control a spellcaster monster, then your opponent cannot activate spell cards, but it does have a little bit of a downside that if you don't control a spellcaster monster, you can't activate spell cards, which is a big downside, but you're usually gonna have a spellcaster on your side of the field or a way to get to one on the field with cards like Eternal Soul. I then play a single copy of Magician's Salvation. Speaking of Eternal Soul, this card has the ability that when it's activated, you can set an Eternal Soul directly from your deck to your side of the field, and if you normal or special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, you can target the monster that you special summon with this effect, and then special summon the one that you didn't special summon from your graveyard, which is a really good effect that basically, if you special summon Dark Magician, you can special summon Dark Magician Girl, and if you special summon Dark Magician Girl, you can special summon Dark Magician, which is a super cool effect. We then play 2 copies of Chicken Game. Chicken Game is just absolutely insane that this card is at 3 in Master Duel. And with cards like Terraforming, I feel like this card is a 2 of in the build, especially with all the other field spells that I'm playing. But being able to get multiple draws per turn is just really, really good. I then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is a really awesome 2 of in the deck that lets you stop the opponent from hand trapping you, which is just really, really nice. I then play 2 copies of Dark Magical Circle. Dark Magical Circle is basically a pot of duality for the deck. It has the ability, when this card is activated, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then reveal a Dark Magician or a Spell or Trap card that lists Dark Magician in its text among those 3 cards. Then place the other 2 back on top of the deck in any order from the cards that you didn't add to your hand, which is a really good effect. This card also has a really good bonus effect that if Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to your field except during the damage step, then you can target 1 card your opponent controls and banish it, which is really insane. I then play 3 copies of Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin is just a really good 3 on the deck, just to basically make your deck a 37 card deck. And with cards like Chicken Game in the deck and Upstart Goblin, you're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards in a single turn, which is really, really nice. I then play 3 copies of Soul Servant. Soul Servant is a really good 3 on the deck that lets you place a card on top of your deck from your hand, deck, or graveyard that is a Dark Magician or specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text, except another copy of this card, which is a really good effect, especially to combo with your copy of Dark Magical Circle, so you know exactly what you're going to excavate, so you can grab the right card, which is really nice. This card also has the ability that during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then draw cards equal to the number of Paladinia monsters, Dark Magician and or Dark Magician Girl, with different names on the field or in the graveyard, which in this deck will give you a maximum of 2 draws, which is pretty good on this card. I then play 3 copies of Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion is just a definite 3 of the deck, just to help you go in for all sorts of amazing fusion plays like Mirror Jade, Albion to step into some really powerful fusion monsters, or even Lubellion so you can go into Mirror Jade, which is really, really nice. But being able to fusion summon from deck is really big in this deck, and with cards like Anaconda in Master Duel at 1, this card is really, really powerful. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, I'm going to be playing 2 copies of Skill Drain. Skill Drain is a really powerful card in this deck because our main boss monster is a vanilla. So this card is just really good at shutting down monster effects on the field, and it really hurts the opponent a lot more than it hurts us, especially if we go first, where we can make our really big fusion play on our turn and use the effect of, say, Mirror Jade first before we activate this card, and then use this card to shut down the opponent, which is just absolutely insane. This card is a definite 2 of in this deck. I then play 2 copies of Eternal Soul, which we basically play 3 copies of this card with Magician's Salvation. But this card has the ability that every Dark Magician in your main monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, which is a crazy awesome effect. This card is super, super powerful, but it does have a little bit of a downside that if this face-up card leaves the field, you destroy all monsters that you control, which is a little bit of a downside, but we have ways to protect it with cards like Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. But this card has a really good effect that you can activate once per turn, that you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, which is a really good effect. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of the Dark Magicians. The Dark Magicians is a really powerful fusion monster, but you really only need a single copy of this card. It takes a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl plus any other spellcaster to make this card, and once per turn, if a spell or trap card or effect is activated, except during the damage step, you can draw a card. Then if it was a spell or trap card, then you can set it to your field, and if it's a trap or quick play spell card, you can activate it the same turn it was set. And if this card is destroyed, then you can special summon both a Dark Magician and a Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is a really good effect, essentially defusing back into the 2 original monsters. I then play a single copy of Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. This card is a really good 1 of the deck, and this card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, which is a super good effect to combo with Eternal Soul to be able to bring it back, which is really nice. It also has the ability your opponent cannot target spells or trap cards you control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects either, which will protect your cards like Eternal Soul, which is really good. I then play 2 copies of Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is just absolutely insane in this deck. It's a really big boss monster that can banish a card on the field every other turn, which is absolutely crazy. And it's pretty much the end board what you want to make when you activate Branded Fusion. I'm then playing a single copy of Lubellion. I feel like Lubellion at 1 in this deck is totally fine because we can go into our copy of Mirror Jade with Albion as well, but this card is just really good overall to help us make our copy of Mirror Jade. I then play 2 copies of Albion. Albion is a really good 2-of in the deck. I feel like this card is perfect as a 2-of. It can help you go into some really powerful fusion monsters, and it's just a fantastic card overall. And if it was sent to the graveyard this turn, then you can set to your side of the field a branded spell or trap directly from your deck, which is always going to be Branded Fusion you're going to set with this card. I'm then playing a single copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is easy to make in this deck. You can make it, but it's pretty easy to make because you can use your copy of Ash Blossom plus a copy of, say, Dark Magician to be able to make this card. But it's just too powerful in this deck not to play. And it's just a really, really good 1-of. I then play a single copy of Access Code because popping multiple cards per turn is just fantastic overall and just a really good boss monster in the deck. It can get absolutely massive, and it's just a fantastic card. And then play a single copy of Selene. Selene is really good to be able to step into your copy of Access Code Talker and make it 53 because you can target the Selene in the graveyard when the access code is summoned to make it 53, which is really nice. 1 copy of the Dark Charmer because it's really easy to make and take cards out of the opponent's graveyard. 1 copy of Predaplant Verte Anaconda because you can use this card with Branded Fusion, and just really insane this card is still at 1 in Master Duel. We play a single copy of Link Spider because we do play Vanillas in the deck, so this card is a really good 1-of overall. 1 copy of Artemis. Artemis is fantastic for your copy of Magician's Rod to be able to send it to the graveyard so you can use it to tribute this card on your side of the field to get it back to your hand during the opponent's turn. And a single copy of Imduk because it is a dragon monster, so you can use normal monsters on your side of the field with this card. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is really fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Dark Magician in Master Duel, I highly recommend it because it's super powerful. It's really fun to be able to play, and it's just super nostalgic to be able to summon the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, the Dark Magician. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.